here, the Token Minorities, bringing you another episode of Styx versus the top of the ladder. And yeah, I know you're seeing a pattern here, but unfortunately, this is the tier where I'm getting most of the top ladder matches, so once again, I will be bringing you another Little Cup match against the Trickster, or Loki as I like to affectionately call him. But anyway, looking at his team, I am noticing that nothing really wants to take a Hydro Pump except for the Chincho, who is most likely Eviolite looking at the rest of his team, so I don't think it would be Scarfed considering he does have the Mienfoo, the Poniard, and the Drillbur, all three of whom are very good Scarf candidates. However, I'm thinking it is most likely the Mienfoo or Poniard, so my Chincho can lead off with relative impunity, I guess, as it were. But yeah, he decides to lead off with his Drillbur, and another reason I thought he might do that is because Drillbur is the only thing on his team besides Poniard who can set up rocks, and Poniard is used much better for other roles. But anyway, I am thinking that this Drillbur is not Scarfed, just because of the way he led off with it. So I'm just going to fire off a Hydro Pump to KO it, and if he is Scarfed, that gives me some valuable intel on his team and I can play around it. So unfortunately, I miss the Hydro Pump first turn and he KOs me with Earthquake. So just like that, I have no intel on the Drillbur, and my Scarf Chincho is down. So I am going into this match really with a 6-5 disadvantage, so I'm really going to have to start making some plays if I want to win this. Either way, I go into my Abra right here, and I have to predict because of my disadvantage here, so I really have to make some plays. So right here, I just go for the Hidden Power Fighting, thinking that his Poniard is going to want to come in, and it does. That is beautiful. So right now, I am back to a 5-5, and I've already evened it up. However, I'm still going to have to make some plays because my Scarf Chincho saves me from a lot of different stuff. As he goes into his Mienfoo, now I think he is going to fake out, well at least that was my thought. So I decide to go into my Fletchling right here to take it and then threaten it out with a Acrobatics. Right here, I went into Fletchling because I thought that if it was fake out, that he would immediately go into his Chincho, at which point I would double into my Diglett to try to trap it and Earthquake it. However, now that he goes for U-turn, I know that he is the Scarfer on his team, which I can definitely play around with later because, yeah, I know the Chincho won't be Scarfed. But anyway, he just goes for U-turn, immediately goes into his Chincho. Now, I have to get rid of this thing, but Diglett can't switch in for fear of the Scald Burn, so I decide to go into my Timber, who can take it, and of course I get burned, so I'm really glad I didn't go into Diglett right there. But now I have my Guts activated, so I can just start knocking off basically everything that he has, as he does go for the T-Bolt, revealing that he is not Scarfed, but I do knock off his Eviolite right here. My Timber goes down, which is unfortunate, but I do get something very, very valuable out of this, because now I can go into my Diglett and trap this Chincho and KO it with an Earthquake, meaning Fletchling has one less thing to worry about. And as soon as I can get that Snubble out of the way and a minuscule amount of damage off on Drillbur and Abra, I will have the game just completely wrapped up. Now right here, I have my Sash still intact. I think that I can just go for an Earthquake, get some damage off on something as he goes into his Snubble, which will take the Earthquake relatively easily because I'm pretty sure this is an Eviolite Snubble, or it might not be considering the Intimidate, and that's still a decent chunk. But right here, Snubble just takes me out, and now I have game. As long as I can just get Snubble out of the way, I can break Abra's Sash, and Drillbur, I believe, is taken down with an Acrobatics after just Rocks damage. So now I just need to get rid of the Snubble and the Abra, and Fletchling cleans up. So I decide to go in my Poniard and just start spamming Iron Head at this point. And Snubble goes down, which is fantastic. Now all that is left is to break the Abra's Sash, and I am golden. Mienfoo comes in here, which I just decided to sack Poniard at this point because my Abra's Sash needed to be intact, and Fletchling was way too valuable to risk him predicting, or him just going for high jump kick and KOing. But now I go into my Fletchling, which can Oko the Mienfoo and 2-ko anything else on his team, as he decides to sack his Abra. Now, I do not agree with that play. I would have just sacked Drillbur right there, considering that Abra could have lived in Acrobatics with its Sash and potentially KO'd me with a Psychic. But luckily for me, he decides to sack his Abra. Now he's going to go into Drillbur. I think that I can KO, but I just want to play it safe, go into my own Abra, and get a Psychic off, as Drillbur is not Scarfed, as we saw earlier. So my Abra can come in. I could have lived an Earthquake even if he had predicted me, and I would have gotten a Psychic off, which would have KO'd the Mienfoo had he tried to bring that in, or done plenty of damage to the Drillbur to where Fletchling can come in and sweep. But right now, I have the game. I just want to get a little bit more damage off. As he decides to save his Drillbur, I'm really not sure why. Because Mienfoo is really his only, I guess, half chance at it. But Mienfoo just goes right down to the Psychic. Drillbur's going to come back in, going to get knocked down with my Psychic. And he's going to be able to KO me back, as Psychic doesn't do enough to KO him. But Earthquake will knock me out. Or Rock Slide, rather, and I will be able to go into Fletchling, whose Acrobatics will be able to finish off the game for me. And I was able to come back from a 6-5 deficit early on and make a couple plays here and there, which allowed me to take the victory in the form of that little Tweety Bird standing across the field. But anyway, looking at his ranking, he was at 1533, and you see my ranking. I have not played in a long time, so I've decayed significantly when this match happened. But yeah, that was it, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And yeah, this is Styx signing out. Why not? See you guys.